He was one of Governor Ron DeSantis' first Iowa supporters back in May. But just days to go before the first in the nation caucuses, and one prominent Iowa Republican is switching, and he's now endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy.
I've done a lot of soul searching in the last few weeks, and my conscience compels me to announce that this United States Marine will not miss this 1776 moment. I am supporting Vivek Ramaswamy for president.
Here to explain his switch of support is Iowa State Representative Stephen Holt. Stephen, thanks for being here. In preparing for this, it sounds like you agonized over this decision, tough one to make. Why did you make the switch?
Thank you for having me, and I did agonize over it for several weeks, and it was a matter of conscience for me. Look, it has nothing to do with Governor DeSantis and everything to do with the message of Vivek Ramaswamy. Look, he's correctly identified. I think we all know it. It's not morning in America right now. We have some very serious problems, and I think he has articulated that in a way that really resonated with me, and he's articulated solutions. I would also say that having followed him on the campaign trail across Iowa and all of his hard work, he's one of the greatest communicators that I have seen since President Ronald Reagan. I spent 20 years in the Marine Corps during the presidency of Ronald Reagan, part of those years. I think Vivek Ramaswamy's ability to communicate with people, to inspire people, is amazing. I've seen him do it with young people. I've seen him do it with crowds. I've seen him do it with protesters. It's just incredible. The other thing I would say, and the reason I think he's going to blow away expectations tonight, is that he's the only candidate who was willing to call out a huge issue that's going on in Iowa for my constituents, which is they're trying to build a CO2 pipeline across Iowa. A pipeline company is, and they're gonna try to use eminent domain to seize the private property of my landowners. And Vivek is the only one who has really brought attention to this issue in a huge way, and I think it's resonating with Iowans, and I think we're going to see that tonight.
You say you think it's resonating with Iowans. So far, the polls haven't reflected that much at all. Here's the most recent Iowa poll. I mean, Trump's where Trump's been with a big lead. But that Ramaswamy number, and DeSantis and Haley have sort of swapped, has stayed about there. Do you think he has a chance to surpass DeSantis or Haley on caucus night? I
don't believe those polls, because the number of people that have told me that the poll, they get this poll and they're asked, who do you support, Trump, DeSantis, or Haley, and they don't even have Vivek on the poll. And they say, well, I'm supporting Vivek, and the response is, well, he's not on the poll. If you had to support these others, who would it be? That's who I've heard. That's what I've heard from a lot of my constituents. So I don't believe the polls. Iowa has delivered surprises before, so we'll see what happens tonight. Are
you surprised, Stephen, by? I mean, you endorsed Ron DeSantis early, and there was a lot of hope in that campaign early. Are you surprised that it didn't catch on? I know you're not here to criticize that campaign per se, but it never really took off.
Well, Reagan's 11th commandment for me. I'm not going to criticize other Republicans. Again, for me, it is the way that Vivek has resonated for me, and his inspiring message and his hard work. Everything about him has impressed me, most particularly, as I said, his willingness to stand up for the landowners in Iowa against the use of eminent domain for these CO2
We've
pipelines.
covered that topic, Stephen. We've covered that topic of that carbon capture pipeline. Why is he one of the only ones really adamantly speaking out against it?
That's a good question, and I think that's a question Iowans need to answer it for themselves. I think it's because he cares about the Constitution, and he's made that very clear, and he cares about people personally. The number of times I've seen him, he knows people by name after he hasn't seen them for weeks. He knows them by name. He knows what their issue is. He cares from the heart, and I'm not saying the others don't. I'm simply saying I have seen that in a way that I haven't seen in others.
It's going to be interesting. I'll see you there in Iowa in a couple of days when you guys go to the polls or go to caucus. Stephen Holt.
Thank you, and hopefully we can dig out of the snow. God bless, and thank you for having me.
That's a lot of digging. God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you.